Hello guys, welcome to our YouTube channel Factology. The four rings in Audi logo represents the four companies of Auto Union named Audi, DKW, Wanderer and Hodge. Some areas in Scotland and Japan switched to blue street lights at night and saw a decrease in crime and suicide rates. The smallest town in the world is in Croatia. The town of Hum is so small its population is approximately 30. The first remote intended to control television was developed in 1950 and it was called Lazy Bones. If you point your car keys to your head, it increases the remote signal range. This works by using your brain to act as a radio transmitter. George Tinney Jr. was the youngest person sentenced to death in the 20th century in the United States. Queen Elizabeth uses her handbag to send secret signals to her staff when she wants to end her conversation. If she puts her bag on table at dinner, it means she wants the event to stop in next 5 minutes. A police officer in North Carolina spent his lunch break sharing pizza with a homeless woman. Greek prostitutes would advertise via their shoes which would say "Follow me" and that would be imprinted in the sand. It is predicted that humans will be able to download their thoughts and memories from their brain into a backup computer by 2050. In 1325, two Italian city-states fought over a bucket which resulted in 2,000 deaths. It started when two soldiers stole a bucket from a well from the city center. Albert Einstein died after refusing surgery saying, "I want to go when I want. It is tasteless to prolong life artificially. I have done my share. It's time to go. I'll do it elegantly." We can't land on the planet Jupiter because Jupiter's surface is actually made up of clouds. Queen Elizabeth doesn't need a passport for international travel. Since all British passports are issued in the name of the Queen, she doesn't need one for herself. All other members of royal family have passports. It's the power of the Queen. The largest butterfly in the world, Queen Alexandra's bird wing, has a wingspan over 1 foot and the first one ever found was taken down using a shotgun. The statue of Neptune, god of water, lies about 40 feet off the shores of Gran Canaria. Most of the day it is fully visible, but when the tide comes in, it looks like it's emerging from the depths of the sea. In 1942, a British forest guard in India made an alarming discovery. Some 16,000 feet above sea level, at the bottom of a small valley, was a frozen lake absolutely full of skeletons. Canada is the most educated country in the world. More than half of its residents have college degrees. A hacker named Jan Chrysler was to recreate the face ID of a German defense minister from a photograph. This is the same hacker who defeated Apple's fingerprint verification within 24 hours of the release of the iPhone 5s. The Statue of Unity in India is the largest statue in the world. It is 182 meters high and 240 meters high if we include its base. There's an underground vault that contains 500 seeds from every crop on earth. It's used as a last resort to fuel the world in the event of a nuclear war. Researchers in Australia have recorded the world's fastest internet speed from a single optical chip of 44.2 terabits per second. At this speed, users can download 1000 HD movies in a split second. Boys and girls are educated separately in Iran until they reach university. Even teachers must be of same gender as the classes they teach. Dubai Miracle Garden is the largest natural flower garden in the world, featuring 50 million flowers and 250 million plants. You can buy an entire Scottish island for $350,000. Buying a car? Buy it at the end of the month. Salespeople usually have quotas to meet and will be more likely to cut you a deal. The world's only 9-barrel flintlock musket. The last date that all living humans were together on Earth was November 2nd, 2000. Since then, there has always been someone on board the International Space Station. Google believes sleep loss can seriously damage your health. It has installed sleep pods in its offices for staff requiring a nap. Amu Haji, 80-year-old Iranian man, smokes animal poop, says he hasn't bathed in 60 years. If you lost an Android phone in your house and it's on vibrate, you can find it by going to Google Play, Android Device Manager, press Ring. Apple is now worth 2 Facebooks, 7 Netflixes, and 42 Twitters. Apple is the first company to reach the $1 trillion valuations. It was on the verge of bankruptcy in 1997 when its stock traded below $1. Chinese city builds a motorway bridge around a tiny house after its stubborn owner refused to sell it to the government and moved for 10 years. Belka and Strelka, the first animals to return successfully back from space. Indian scientists made space bricks with urea for building on moon. The man who invented pop-up ads has apologized to the world for creating one of the internet's most hated forms of advertising. In 2008, Finnish police found a dead mosquito while searching the inside of a car. They tested the blood from the mosquito's last meal and identified the thief. In Germany, one farmer made cornfield which included most famous sign of Europe. It includes Eiffel Tower, Leaning Tower of Pisa, famous Spanish bull, etc. The total screen time of Marvel Cinematic Universe is 3000 minutes. That's why Tony in Endgame said, "Love you 3000 times." A man called Billy Owen lost an eye and half his face to cancer and used it to start a career as a zombie actor. Evolution of the alphabet. This flood barrier made by a Sweden company was incredibly light, cheap, super fast to set up and could stop flood up to 1 meter high. A fawn curled up beside a fake deer which is used for target practice. Plastic wrapped coconuts are the latest pointless packaging. In 2013, George Clooney surprised 14 friends with $1 million each. They were friends who helped him before he became famous. Some were living paycheck to paycheck at the time he also paid for the taxes. This is the world's largest drone used by US military. In 2010, when Tokyo officials went to congratulate the oldest man in the city on his 111th birthday, they instead found his skeletal remains on his bed. He had been dead for 30 years and the family was taking in the pension money he was still receiving. If your printer is out of black ink and you need urgent printout, please change the color of the hash 010101, which is 99% grey. It will help you quite a lot. According to the recent survey, India has the cheapest medical treatment in the entire world in terms of money. Many foreigners visit India just for their treatment. The heart bypass, which cost around rupees 1 crore in US, cost only rupees 4 lakhs in India. An illustration of a bacteriophage, also known as virus. Bollywood singer Palak Muchal has so far organized heart surgery of more than 1300 children. It has been recorded in Guinness and Limca record books too. More power to you, girl. Massive respect for her. You would have noticed this textured ground surface indicator found on footpaths, stairs and train station platforms. It is called tactile paving and is made to assist pedestrians who are visually impaired or blind persons. Japanese shoemaker Kyuto Ohata has created a hilarious pair of pigeon-themed high heels and everyone is freaking out. Wrapping your legs in cabbage can relieve joint pain, arthritis, inflammation and swelling. A student who scored A+ asked the teacher to transfer his bonus points to a student who had scored the lowest. This won my heart. For the movie Interstellar, Christopher Nolan had the production team plant 500 acres of corn because he did not want the CGI the farm in. After filming, they sold the crop and made a profit. Steve Litch, a milkman, was doing his rounds when he saw a shop on fire. He used 320 pins of milk to put out the fire, saving 7 other stores. He received the award for Hero Milkman of the Millennium. The pilot episode of Courage the Cowardly Dog was nominated for an Oscar. There's a light bulb that's been burning since 1901. This is Mesut Ozil, one of the best footballers in the world. During a match, a piece of bread was thrown at him. Instead of kicking it away, he picked it up, kissed it, touched it to his forehead and then kept it aside of the pitch because wasting food is against his religion. Photographer caught a bird that caught a shark that caught a fish. The architecture of this apartment complex in Shanghai, China. The right ear is better at hearing speech and the left ear is better at hearing music. The BMW headquarter design is similar to that of a four-cylinder engine. It represents a four-cylinder heritage of BMW. Cornea is the only body part without a blood supply. It gets oxygen directly from the air. Dogs have a branch of nerves in their ears, and when you rub them, it releases endorphins, making them extremely relaxed with a type of natural high. Spider-Man grew up to 20 in Graham Street in Forest Hills, Queens. The address exists in real life, and the family that lives there is the Parkers. Hungarian researcher wins $1 million award for his potential cure for blindness. A rare antique brass knuckles pistol with original case, 1890. A man from Texas once tried to shoot an armadillo, but its armor deflected the bullet right back at his face. A farmer in China spent 16 years studying law so he could sue a chemical company that polluted his land. He couldn't afford to buy law books, so he gave the bookstore owner corn in exchange for letting him read and copy information by hand. He won his case and got compensation for all the families in his village. $3 million inside the glass at a bus stop, put as an advertisement by a bulletproof glass making company. If you break it, you can take the money home. In 1988, Sheikh Zayed, former ruler of UAE, was shocked and got angry when he was informed that some of the United Arab Emirates citizens actually live in houses for rent. So he gave farmland and homes for everyone that lives in rented houses. This young Filipino girl ends up marrying a 73-year-old mayor whom she had met on the internet. This modern-day Swiss watch was found in a 400-year-old sealed Ming Dynasty tomb. This find baffled archaeologists. White torture is one of the most devastating forms of psychological torture, which involves putting the prisoner in a completely white, soundproof room, wear white clothes, and eat white food from white plates. Found over 2000 years after her death, one of the world's well-preserved ancient human remains were buried in a mysterious liquid that scientists still can't replicate. Mumbai Dabbawalas have received Six Sigma certification, which means they make less than one mistake in every 60 lakh deliveries. Being a global brand ambassador of Dubai tourism, Shah Rukh Khan is the only man in the world after Mohammed bin Rashid Al Maktoum, UAE Prime Minister, who is allowed to free stay and free dinner in any 5-star and 7-star hotels in Dubai. 3D printing of bionic body parts is expected to boom in 2020. Once Mr. Bean was going to Kenya for a trip and suddenly his pilot lost consciousness. He went to the pilot seat and maintained the steady motion of the plane until the pilot gained his consciousness. He saved the lives of his wife, two children, and other passengers. Gurudwara Bangla Sahib to start world's cheapest medical center for the needy with MRI scan at rupees 50. A chimpanzee's finger and a human finger identical in almost every aspect. If you type illuminate backwards and then .com into your browser, you'll be led to the US government's national security page. Under the surface of Antarctica, there are more than 138 dormant volcanoes which can become active at any moment. Michael Jackson came to India in 1996 on his street tour. He did not take any performance fee and even donated 85% of profit of show to create 2 lakh jobs in India and local charity to educate poor. This is medieval El's castle located in Wierskem, Germany. It has been owned and occupied by the same family for 850 years over 33 generations. Buy fuel early in the morning during summers, then in the afternoon. As the temperature increases, the fuel expands, the density decreases, and you get less of it for the money you pay. Galileo's middle finger is on display at a museum in Florence, Italy. You can eat 24-karat gold without falling ill. As pure gold is chemically inert, it will pass through the body and will get eliminated as waste. The sun may be older than the earth, but the water we drink is older than the sun. NASA once gave a statement saying that aliens do exist and they are probably living in Earth. They are technically so advanced that we are unable to spot them. Strange but true. Jackie Chan, working as a nightclub bouncer, once spent 2 days after a fight trying to push his bone back into his first. He later found that it wasn't his bone, it was the other guy's tooth. Your body is only 11 months old. Almost every cell in your physical body is replaced every 11 months, except for brain cells which are replaced after 7 years. During the World War II, a great dog named Juliana defused a bomb by peeing on it. She earned a Blue Cross medal. He bought this parking space just to save this old tree. In medieval times, it was common to have 2 sleeps per night. You'd fall asleep for 4 to 5 hours, wake up for 2 hours or so, and fall back to sleep for another 3 to 4. This is a Japanese honey apple with 100% honey core. There's a man who bought a Boeing 727-200 for $100,000 and uses it as his house. There's a toilet-themed restaurant in Taiwan where food is served on miniature toilets. Black garlic has 2 times more the antioxidant level of white garlic. It helps in preventing 14 types of cancer and has powerful healing benefits. A concept plane has been designed that has no windows but wrap-around screens to show what's outside. Aliens exist. They are in contact with US and Israel. Israel's ex-space security chief. This is the country sea land. It has its own government, stamps, passports, and even a soccer team. There are 22 official residents. Robert Downey Jr. was paid $10 million for just 8 minutes of screen time in Spider-Man Homecoming. He made more than $1 million for every minute he appeared in the movie. Gold is so ductile that we can make 2 kilometer long wire from just 1 gram of it. This restaurant in Gurugram, India refurbished old concrete sewer pipes to make some weatherproof seating for the customers. What a great idea! In Japan, male students can confess their love to another person by giving them the second button from the top of their school uniform because the second button is closest to the heart. Japan never fails to amaze us. For more such facts, subscribe to our channel.